Greetings, fellow seekers of truth, wisdom, and light. And this is Reverend Eliot coming to you live. Yeah, this time live. Actually, really, for the first time in 6 months, live here, in the middle of September, September 11th, 2024. Boy, I've been out for 6 months. And what an experience that's been. I told you guys I was sick. I said I wasn't feeling well. But yeah, it, I've been through the ringer. I've been through an awful lot of stuff. I've been through surgery. I've been through not giant surgery, nothing big. But I'll tell you one thing I like about surgery. It's the first decent night's sleep I've had since all this started. I had a really good anesthesiologist, and told him I haven't had a decent night's sleep in 6 months. Please knock me out. Just do it. Just do the best you can. And he did, and I felt great. And I've this time around I've spent 6 months wrapped in the medical industry, and there's nobody I felt like suing. It's been a very positive experience. My health is pretty much shot in certain ways, but we're working on it, and I'm back. And a lot of what we're doing was preventing. A lot of what we've been doing medically was stabilizing my condition and fixing me up to prepare for the worst, which would be just shy of dying. Which when you go see the doctor and they start talking about getting your affairs in order, it's getting serious. But it's I don't know how to explain this, because the doctors keep saying that it's a very, very serious thing, and I don't doubt it. I mean, it knocked me out here for 6 months. But they also tell me I don't look like somebody who's sick, and I seem fine. They're generally surprised when I turn out to be the patient, which I suppose that's some kind of saving grace there. But oh gosh, I have missed you all so much. So many people have been in touch with me in the last 6 months. So many people from the audience, and you know who you are, and I thank you so deeply for your wishes, the Reiki energy you've sent, the healing energy of all sorts that you've sent, the cards that you've sent. I've been very lucky that you haven't forgotten me, and I hope. I don't know. I almost forgot me, but it was a strain, and I wanted to come back today, of all days, because of course, we all know that there's significance in September 11th because of what happened 22 years ago. But also, for those who have read my book, I don't want to make a selling point out of this, but look at that. He's out for 6 months, and he's already talking about his books, right? That I did a magical ritual 21 years ago yesterday that pretty much saved me from the terror of Lower Manhattan on September 11th, 2001. It's in the book. It's in the book. Reverend Eliot explains it all, but it was one of the most frightening experiences that I came that close, and it illustrated I mean, I can't really. If I explain it now, I'll be here. It'll take the whole show to do that, but I might just take one show one day and just, instead of taking calls, tell you what happened in detail. But it's in the book. Reverend Eliot explains it all. I did a thing called from the rituals of Frater Malik, called the rewarding ticket come to me, which is theoretically a lottery thing. And I bought a few lottery tickets, and I did. Actually, they all won. All of them won. Not a lot of money, but a little money. They all won money. I turned a profit, but I never cashed the tickets in because something else happened. As a result of that, I got a ticket that kept me out of Lower Manhattan today, which September 11th, 2021, I was supposed to be down there, down by that site. And this is what happened on September 10th, as a result of that ritual, got me out of there. And I was lucky enough to find the occultist who wrote that and let him know what happened. It was a life-changing thing to come that close into this. And today, since the ritual essentially protected me, I thought today would be symbolically the best day to come back. And it was and I'm starting because I'm feeling better. I'm stronger. I'm very wobbly. Going out and walking and shopping and things like that is a bit difficult because I've been lying in bed for months, which ordinarily I'd like, but no, not under these circumstances. But that's it. They've got me on some medications. They've got me on a excruciatingly bland diet. All the wonderful things I like cooking, I can't have. They'll kill me. So the choice is not that hard to make. And I'm under almost constant medical observation, and I'll probably be around for quite a while. They think they can. They're pretty sure they can keep me going using all the latest stuff that's out there. But I have to be monitored very closely and have my blood drawn all the time. It's one of those things. I mean, as terminal illnesses go, this isn't a bad one. Let's put it that way. So I'm. Don't let the term terminal illness be a real downer there, because life is terminal. So we're all headed for the last roundup anyway. But the idea is, I got rather tired of moping around, whining about it, and being scared to death. So the medical stuff is under control. The physical stuff is under control. The mental stuff needs work because it's very distressing. And the magical stuff, that kind of takes second seat when the reality of life hits. And I don't like to do. There's a lot of magical work that I've done that I don't like to do while I'm ill, and this is the illest I've been. I've been one sick baby. So the upshot of it all is I'm under control. It's all under control. I am here at your disposal now. I have been to all of you who have contacted me about readings. You were very gracious when I explained to you why I can't do them. And I asked you if you'd wait for a later date and then contact me, because I'll do it for you. And I'll do it for you free because of that. This is, you know who you are. If you've been in touch with me and you needed a reading and I wasn't there for you, it's because of this as a priority. But now I'm back and I can do it, and I will be more than happy to do that for you, to give you that reading on the house, because of your patience and your understanding. And the I don't think I could have done it without the energy and contact I got from all of the Ask One Radio audience who got in touch with me. And if you didn't know what was happening to me, that's I wasn't too vocal about it. Some people knew and others didn't, but I have been, like I said, I've been poked, prodded, cut open, you name it, all that. But I'm here. A reasonable facsimile of myself, and I want to get back into it. I've got books that I want to finish. I have, boy, when you get news like that, you just think about all the things you want to do, and yet it was almost impossible to focus and do them because I had to focus on getting well. And to me, I'll tell you, sleep is the problem for me. Getting sleep was the problem. I can't. It's very hard to sleep when you're terrified. Have you noticed this? Now, of course, you should see the look on the faces of the doctors when I say, but I have a cure for that. About 12 ounces of Jack Daniels, and they look at me, they blanch, and then they realize I'm joking, because no, I simply can't do. I can't do that. So I won't. Oh, but boy, do if I got a lot of beautiful barware to sell. eBay is calling me, right? So, I'm back. I'm here. I'll be putting together some books. I have some interesting books that are coming up. I'm still not on Facebook. I never did bother to get back on Facebook because they were very bizarre in locking me out. And I am at MeWe, which has a viewership on my page of about 3, and Twitter, which I do a little better on Twitter. But social media, I enjoyed Facebook, but it became very restrictive and almost fascistic. And when they demanded things like my birth certificate and various personal documents. And this is a place that gets hacked, and so I wasn't into that, and I wasn't interested in it at all. So I do have a presence there, but it's deactivated. So I don't know. I can't even get in to see it. They wouldn't allow me in. And they never said why, of course. They just said, we need proof of who you are. And my answer was, who would pretend to be me? That's kind of a strange one. There aren't that many people running around. I did meet somebody who wanted to be me once, though. That was pretty peculiar. It was at a party, and he was talking to me about me, and he didn't know he was talking about me because he was referring to the person who did a certain job, and how he was tight with that person, and I was that person, which I gently let him know. The bizarre thing is his name was Eliot. These things happen, right? Or who knows? Maybe I'm the delusional one, and I thought I still, to this day, maybe I think I'm him. Can you really know? Can you ponder these things and know? So anyway, I'm back, and we're going to be back. Hopefully, I'll do a show in another 6 months, or let's say another 7 days. I'd like to be back here with you all the time. If you can find me at Twitter and at MeWe, it would be great. Only, because I know these are like kind of Twitter. I don't do well on Twitter because I don't get into arguments with strangers and I don't call people vile names. And MeWe is just hardly anyone knows about it, but it's worth looking into. And I mention that because I have various offers for things, and I'm going to be getting into branching off into various video presentations. And as I left you 6 months ago, I was about to conquer the video airwaves here, and move into the 21st century and do this as a video feed, and that's coming. That will be coming. I have to make sure that I don't look like a guy who's been lying in bed for 6 months, because that'll scare the hell out of you. They didn't do any surgery on my head or my face or anything, so that's okay. The only surgery I've had was briefly on an arm, and that was to prepare me for some other stuff. So here we are. You can see the results of not having many people to talk to for 6 months. I just keep going and going. So let's do this. Let's get right into the readings, because I haven't done readings for people in a while, and I'm damn curious to see if I can still do it. What do you think? You think it's worth a shot? I got them all shuffled up here, and there, you hear that? And I'm ready to go. So let's ring that bell that we usually do 3 times to declare sacred space. Well, that was a dud. And now we'll pull back the curtain on the magical window. We'll go up north to Canada for Christine. Hi, Christine in Ontario. How are you tonight?
Hello. Fine, thanks.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, boy, that's a question that'll take hours to answer. I'm doing better, though.
So I gather.
Yeah, I was laid up flat on my back for 6 months, and the object of inspection by numerous medical students who, by the way, I found very strange when you joke with them. So I'd recommend being very serious during sessions like that. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good, good. What can I look at for you tonight?
I was wondering if there are any messages from the other side.
Ooh, that's fascinating because I just cut the deck and I got the judgment card. And the judgment card shows the angel blowing the horn and the spirits rising from the grave. That's it's about rebirth and it fits in. When people ask me a question about contact on the other side, there are several cards I look for to see if I'm really going to get a message, and that's one of them. So, because of the imagery. So, yeah, I'd say we do have a message here. The, the this is a puzzle to me because here's another. The next card is a card I always get when I read these things. It's a card of great happiness and joy and healing and health. It's the sun. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
preceded by cards of sorrow and sadness, but the message is almost always, I'm happy, I'm okay, I'm growing, I'm healing. Um, the next card I have is the Five of Swords, which is a not a very good card in the sense that the spirit reaching out to you was treated badly, not by you, but was treated badly, but is now moving and growing. Because this is a card that's very typical in these readings. Also, the Ten of Swords, which looks like a horrible card. It shows a person lying stabbed in the back, but it just means that life has thrown its worst at you, and you're around. It means the hard times are over.
Mhm.
And the Six of Swords is here, which is going from where we are to a better place, which is a cliche, of course, but it shows a person in a little boat on rough waters pushing the boat towards smooth waters. So the message here is from whoever this is to you is that they want you to know that although things were kind of bad near the end, that there was some bad blood, not necessarily involving you, but there were problems. That the person is happy, the person is healing, the bad times are over, and the person is growing, and the person is moving towards the place where that person wants to be, and the bad times are over. So that's
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 good to
that's
know.
and that's oddly enough, that's almost always the way these readings go. There's almost always a card like the sun there about healing and health and growth. Unless, I mean, a couple of times I've had readings for people who just didn't accept what happened. You could see in the cards that they didn't accept it. This is a person who's not only accepted but embraced it and is sees that the troubles are over and is moving towards good things. I like to believe that people like that spirits like that come back and do very good. I don't know if that fits in with your philosophy, but I kind of like to think that that's possible because we're getting hints here about things happening afterwards anyway, right?
Hmm. And do you have any idea who this person is?
Uh, I'm gonna. Well, I have the fatherly figure, an almost priestly figure, somebody who was important, who gave guidance to people. Does that ring a bell for you?
Mm, possibly, yes.
Because I have the card here, the Hierophant here. And here's the Death card, which, of course, that's one of the cards I look at. And here's another one, the High Priestess card. That's another card I look at. When I get these cards, that's telling me the message is really strong. The High Priestess is the person who can see behind the veil. The Death card, the meaning is obvious, as was the Last Judgment card. So, but this is telling me that this is definitely, yeah, I'm here. I am here. And I'm growing and I'm healing and I'm doing well. Which this is one last card is the Six of Rods, which the message is success and triumph and do well for you. Okay,
Okay. Thank
so
you.
that's these things are so like a double-edged sword because it's so sad, and yet I almost always get joyful readings from the person who's passed on. So, especially look, that's and let's face it, for me personally, that's something that's been on my mind for the last 6 months. But
It sounds like it, yes.
we'll all find out eventually. But this person wants you to know that things are going well. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. And I will light a candle to send positive energy towards you and towards the spirit. How's that?
Thank you very much. That's
My
terrific.
pleasure. Bye bye now. And let's just shuffle them up. You're listening to Reverend Eliot's Magical Window, finally back live after 6 months. 6 nasty, yicky months. And how odd is that my first call would be about the afterlife, which I came very, very close to experiencing. It's there was a guy, I should mention, there was a wonderful old guy I was in the hospital with in my room. He was much older than I am, and I'm no spring chicken. And that was a fascinating experience. We had such great conversations while I was lying there, wondering what's going to happen to me next. So that helps a lot. That helps a great deal. I brought a book with me because I didn't know how long I'd be in the hospital, and I ended up reading it 4 times. It's I'll discuss that book one time too, sometime too. It's a metaphysical thing also, but that was as close as I got to doing this stuff. I pretty much would have to say I've had my fill of hospitals, but it's unfortunately, or rather, let's say fortunately, I'm not done with them. I have more medical things coming up. I have more medical appointments coming up. And as I said, each time, every person I dealt with, from the surgeons to the people who sweep the floors, were all marvelous and lovely and wonderful people. And I have a habit of talking to the people who do the cleaning because I don't know how appreciated they are, but I once picked up an infection in a hospital because it hadn't been cleaned properly. And I I encourage these people all the time because they are frightfully important. The ones, I know that it's considered, quote, menial work, but I watched a person clean down half the room and make the bed, and it took like an hour and change because she was that precise and that good, and I knew I was in good hands, and I'm that helped speed my recovery, which is knowing that I felt cared for, and then the love I was getting from the audience members from Mask One Radio, it was very moving, and I don't think I'll ever be able to thank you enough. Jennifer in Everett, Washington is next. Hi, Jennifer. You're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hello.
Hi. How are you tonight?
I'm wonderful. And you?
I'm doing well. I'm coming back after 6 months ill, and here I am. Funny,
Yay.
every time I've heard Everett, Washington, always makes me think for some reason of Bing Crosby, because I
Huh.
think he was from Spokane, I believe, but he had a brother named Everett. But
Oh, really?
it's a big fat guy who was his manager, and they used to joke about him a lot on the radio. But for some reason, I was thinking of that, and music got me by. I love, music helped get me by while I was ill.
I love music as well.
Oh, isn't it beautiful? It's just it's the best thing there is. And I here in New York, we used to have many venues for wonderful live music, and it wasn't very expensive. But apparently, everybody these days prefers recorded stuff. So hey, it's sort of
Right.
music,
I
But
get it.
there's nothing like getting there and seeing it made live, and it's just beautiful.
Absolutely.
So Jennifer, what can I look at for you tonight?
I've had three close best friends that have passed away.
Oh, yeah. I heard from somebody one time who said he was so seriously depressed, and I said, "Well, what's going on?" And it turned out that like half of the people he knows had died within the last few months. And I said, "That's not depression.
Mm-hmm.
That's heavy grief. Don't let you're not suffering from a condition. This is life, and
Yeah.
yeah." You may want to talk to somebody about it, but there's nothing wrong. He thought there was something wrong with him. I said, "Oh
Yeah.
man, no, 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 no. That you can't lose people like that." So, would you like to see if there's any kind of messaging from the other side there?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I never did that with tarot. It never even occurred to me to do that until I started doing this show like 11, 12 years ago. I've lost track of how long it is now, especially with that 6-month gap. But I think it's been about 11 and a half years, 10 and a half years. So
Wow.
let's see what we get. There are certain cards I look for, as I mentioned in the previous reading, to see if I'm on the right track. And those are the cards that refer to the other side and refer to death. And so let's see if I can pull up one of those cards first here. Well, this isn't exactly this. I mean, this counts, but it's not one of the ones that really is the strongest. But it's the Hermit, which is a mysterious person leading you and guiding you metaphysically, and that's a spirit. That could be a spirit
Mhm.
guide. So I accept that card in there with the more obvious ones like death
Mhm.
and the Last Judgment. So yeah, let's go from there, and I bet I will get something because that could mean there's a spirit wanting to give you a message.
Okay.
The Eight of Cups is about going from where a person is to where they want to be,
Mhm.
and that, of course, would relate to passing on. The Three of, I mean, if they could either, I'm not saying they wanted to go, but that's the next destination. If you know what I mean.
Mhm.
The Three of Swords is here, and that's a card of sorrow and sadness. That shows up a
Mhm.
lot in these things. The Ten of Rods is here. Whoever we're looking at felt really burdened by life. Look, I'm getting indications that this is a person who may have caused harm to himself or herself. Is that
Yes,
somebody in?
that makes sense. Yes, one of my
Okay,
friends did. Yes.
yeah, I see. 'Cause that's a very delicate thing to bring up, and I really I tiptoe around it, but that's what I'm getting here. And I think
Mhm.
and when I said getting to where you want to be, I think that's what you know that opened it up. But um, there were great burdens, there was great sorrow, there was great sadness. Here's the High Priestess. That's one of the cards of the afterlife, of communication. The thing is that and the Death card. This is that the person we're looking at is 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 I don't know how to say this. It's not like is joyous and happy and everything, but the Ace of Cups is here, and that's the beginning of healing and health and happiness. So while it was very bad for this person, there's growth and healing where they are now.
Mhm.
Uh, because from here on in, the cards are happy. Which again, this is what I said earlier in the previous call, that for dire subject matter, there's always happiness involved here. The Ace of
Mhm.
Cups, the Ten of Cups, which is about perfected happiness. Uh, the Lovers is an interesting thing in that it shows an angel watching over somebody, over some people. So
Mhm.
I'm going to infer that this person has been watching it over you a bit. Do you get the feeling that they're
Mhm.
still around? So those
I had an experience recently that I felt like, and it was the first time since it's been about 10 years since he passed, and it was the first time I've ever felt him. So, yeah,
well,
that
that's
makes
what I
sense.
think. That's what I'm seeing here. Well, this is why after I've been reading tarot cards since the '80s. I never take them for granted and I
Mhm.
never feel that it's me doing this. This is because these are your cards. Uh, I'm just
Mhm.
seeing. You see, here's the Judgment card. That's another one that indicates that it's an afterlife reading, but also it's about getting growth and he. See, this is the it didn't end well. There were problems in life. It didn't end well for this person, but the spirit has been growing and is changing and is evolving and is reaching a higher level. That's what I'm seeing now. Here's the Sun, which I had
Mhm.
in the previous reading too. Several of these cards I had in the previous reading. That's healing and health and growth and happiness. And the message with that card is don't be sad. Which is kind of a an easy thing to say because there's so many people I miss, and that's the way of the world, But this
Mhm.
person, this particular contact is saying things are better now for me, and I'm evolving and I'm growing. Let me pull one more, see if we can find anything. Yeah, the Six of Rods. That means I'm finding success and triumph where I am. So overall, again, a very positive reading, but one that is reassuring in that we've been able to describe the person and confirm your feeling that you had the person nearby recently.
That's all actually. That's the question that I've always wanted to know, is if he was okay, because until very, very, like, literally within the last week, I hadn't felt him at all, and so, or had a dream about him or anything. So, like, I was just worried. I just wanted to know he was okay. So this whole reading actually makes a lot of sense.
Well, that seems to be the message, which is yes, I'm okay, and I'm getting better even, and I'm
Mhm.
there, and I'll be there in one form or another. It'd be spooky for people when they if the indication is that the spirit is watching over you. I don't think my belief is that they don't watch over us in the sense of a busybody. I ju-
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
just think I mean they share their
I
presence with
agree.
you is what I mean. Because you see,
Mhm.
let me put it this way. I People ask me about the afterlife in general, and because it's something that is we've only been wondering about this for 50,000 years since we became human beings, right? So
Right.
my point is this: I didn't really much believe in things like seances and Ouija boards and even what I just did now because I've been on vacation. And I've met
Mhm.
people on vacation, and we had a great time and said, well, we got to get together again and we got to talk sometime. And then you never hear from them ever again. And that's just another part
Absolutely.
of the world. That's just another part of the country. That's just maybe another part of, I mean, this happened to me with a kid in Boy Scout camp when I was a little kid. And I found out he
Mhm.
lived literally, as the word they like to use these days so much, he lived right around the corner from me in New York City. He lived right around the corner from me. He lived on the
Wow.
same block that I lived on. And yet, we got to get together. We got to go. Got to go to the park and blah blah. And I never heard from him again. And I was
Yeah.
probably about 10 years old. I'm an old man. I'm still waiting to hear from him. I looked him up on social media. See what's going on. I mean, so now think about what happens when you change realms of existence.
Mhm.
If people don't even keep up contact. Now, I did a thing. I mentioned that when I was in the hospital. There was this wonderful old guy. That's so condescending, but it was a wonderful guy who managed to
Mhm.
live a long. He managed to live longer than me. Let's put it that way. And we had lived in the same neighborhood, and we grew up in the same part of the city. And we, of course, it's New York. We never met each other, and we got along very well. And he was interested in putting down his experiences in writing, but he was kind of a little inhibited. And I said, listen, just write it,
Mhm.
and I said, here's what I'm going to do. I have this book that I wrote about how to shave with a straight razor. Now, if I can
Mhm.
do that, it's just simple. Just start writing and then rewrite, then make it better. That's all. And I'm going to send you that book just so that you can look at that book and know that if this guy who's half dead lying in the bed next to me, if he can do that, then I can do this. And I want you to think of me when I do that. And I knew in my heart that I was never going to mail that book to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but I did. So there, right? That's my little stab at immortality, because you never know. You never know how you're going to influence somebody. You got a time for a moment to hear.
Absolutely.
Get a moment to hear a really weird story.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh,
For sure.
Um, I spent the 1980s, meaning my early 20s and all that, as a stand-up comic, which was a blast.
Mhm.
I loved it. I loved it. I only got into it. I mean, I hated it at first because but nobody's going to believe this, but I was very shy. And I,
Mhm.
and I, what's the, I was a writer. I wrote jokes for people. I lost a girlfriend over that. She was furious with
Mhm.
me because she said I'm prostituting myself. I was making money, I was making the fabulous sum of like $20 a joke. And
Yeah, yeah.
although in the 80s, $20, late 70s actually, at that point, $20 went a long way. Well, anyway, they would mangle my jokes, I thought. So I was going to do it myself, and it terrified me, but I managed to get over the fear and do it. So one night and actually I was a regular at the Improv here in New York, which was a very prestigious thing. I managed to pull that off. But I did a lot of late night comedy to get started. And one night I left the club at 4 in the morning to get a cab to go home.
Mhm.
And the cab driver was a woman who said, "You going to Gramercy Park?" And I said, "No, I live in Tribeca. But I used to live in Gramercy Park. Why'd you say that?" She said, "You don't remember me." And I said, "No, I don't." And she said, "Oh, well, let me tell you what you did to me." This is a woman driving a cab at 4 in the morning. I don't remember her at all. Said, "My friends and I went to the Improv late one night and saw some comics, and you were there, and man, were you terrible. You were the worst comic we ever saw." I said, "Okay, what was the point, though?" I said, "Well, you were so bad. I mean, you were just horrible." I said, "Okay, I got that part of it. We've established that I was no good. Uh, what did I do?" He said, "Well, you were so bad that I started to heckle you." And I said, "Thank you for that." And she said, "But, you know, I said to you, you are so bad." I said, "I got that. Okay, can we move on now?" I'm paying her for this
Mhm.
cab ride too while she's telling me how awful I am. And and she said, "Well, I looked at you and I said right to your face, how can you do this when you're so bad?" And you looked me right in the eye and you said, "When there's something inside you that you got to do, you got to get it out." Said, "Man, you smacked me with that. You really hit me. You hit me where I live." And she said, "I had a corporate job I hated. I wanted to be a photographer, and I could not let go. I kept thinking, if this guy, as bad as he is, could do what he's doing, I can do what I want to do." And she left her corporate job and she started driving a cab late at night to make as a night job. And in the
Mhm.
daytime, she was a photographer. She wanted to be a freelance photographer, which was her dream. And she said, "All because you were so bad." But and I said, "But you see, that, aside from the fact that she was driving home how awful I was, and of course I did improve, but the thing is, you don't know how you're going to affect people in your life. So years later, she tells me that I changed her whole life.
Yeah, you affected her in a way, and you had no idea.
Yeah, and we don't even know how many people we did that to. So when I said
I
to
think.
this, when I
Go
said
ahead.
to this fellow, "I'm going to send you that book that I wrote, and it'll inspire you." Then now I have a moral obligation to do it, and I did it, and I'm proud of that actually, because I'm such a procrastinator. I mean, the joke was that my ex-wife called me a procrastinator, and I got mad at her when I looked it up 3 days later. So that's that's that was the level I was at. But I like putting things off. So you see, we did
I'm a
that.
procrastinator myself.
Yeah, isn't it fun though? You get it's a little anxiety comes out of it, but I like to say we're waiting till the last minute to make sure all the possibilities fall in line. That's the way I look at it.
I always like to say I work best under pressure.
Bingo, there you go. That's it. That's the way you do it. Let's see. Wait a minute. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do. I see how long I've been away. I meant to do this. Yes, that's put yourself under pressure and get the work done. Um, anyway, that's. I warned Dave here at Ask One Radio that I was going to be chatty tonight because I haven't done this in 6 months. But you reminded me of that story and about that book and about the things we do and the presence and the afterlife. So I believe that yes, these souls are there, and they can kind of blend their presence with ours. It's not like they're it's not like that image of the Lord as a man with a pencil and a paper and writing down
Yeah.
that you called somebody a bad name. No. So, I think this person you were concerned about. I know you said there were several, but I think there was one in particular you were concerned about, and that's the one who came through.
Yep.
And if
That's
you can get back
amazing.
to if you can get back to me some other time on the air or even off the air, maybe we can look at some of the others. I'll be happy to take a look at them for you. And by the way, I haven't. I'm so out of practice here. I should tell people because I've been away for so long. If you want to get in touch with me off the air, the email is asktarot@earthlink.net, and
Ask
I've got
what?
Ask Tarot, AskTarot at earthlink.net,
Okay.
and I'll be happy to spend some time with you. Okay.
All right, sweet. Thank you so much.
Thanks for a great call. You make coming back. I was nervous, but I'm not now. So thank you.
Thank you so much. You have a good evening.
Bye bye now. And let's shuffle up the cards. You're listening to the triumphant return of Reverend Eliot's Magical Window after 6 months of lollygagging and making doctors' lives miserable. Actually, this time around, they were very nice to me. I've had my share of nasty doctors, and these weren't they. So that helps an awful lot. The food left something to be desired, but I'm not really. Like I said, all the stuff I enjoy eating, no can do. Not anymore. Not allowed. You know what kills me? No tomato sauce. I make a wicked tomato sauce. You can find my tomato sauce recipe, by the way, at magic-works.com at my alchemy page, because there's a kitchen alchemy thing there, and I have recipes how you can make your own imitation of Irish cream. No can do that now. My wife's going to get all this stuff, but I can't eat any of it. I can't drink any of it. But I make a killer tomato sauce with which comes to about 80 cents a jar. And I would urge you, especially in these times of inflation, to take a look at it, because if you like a good, hearty tomato sauce, this is the one. And you'll find that at magic-works.com. Anyway, let's shuffle that up. I'll talk to you more later about how to get in touch with me and find the things I do. Jade in Clearwater, Florida is next. Hi, Jade. You're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hey, Eliot. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you just fine. Am I coming through?
You are.
Beautiful. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. I called
Well,
in because,
maybe we can. You sound a little down, don't you? Is there something else? Is there something specific you wanted? We can take care of. I'll be happy to look into it for you.
yeah, I'm also a medium and a tarot reader,
Oh, good.
and I called. I called to get some, insight for me. I'm 40 weeks on Sunday with my fourth child.
Wow.
And yeah, and it's coming up, and I'm kind of in a predicament that's a little sticky. And I just wanted a little guidance on, if I should just take this route and focus on me and the baby right now, like what's important, and
Well,
just want to make sure I'm going the right way.
the first card I have confirms what you just said. That it's the eight. You know, the Eight of Swords. It's the
Yep.
one where the person is like blindfolded and tied up. It's
Yeah, and I heard you speak of it. I do follow my Morgan Greer deck too, and I like the enlightening statement you did just say about it with the last caller.
Oh, thank you.
So it's a popular one tonight. Or maybe you said Eight of Cups. Maybe you said Eight of Cups. That's
right. Well, this here, the Eight of Swords here is very. It's about It's about feeling stuck. You know what I mean? And the Five of Rods shows conflict. And the Seven of Cups is here. That's a card of kind of unfocused ideas. So but this is nothing. This is just kind of confirming what you said. That you're feeling stuck. That you're in a state of conflict, and you're not sure which way to go. Right? Does this involve family?
Yeah, it's involving kind of myself mainly and another person with conflict. We have 2 kids together. We've been, kind of helping each other out because it has been a long relationship before I started a new relationship. Well, the new relationship it is what it is, and I've been aiding my 2 younger children, and now it has been 2 months of just feels like 2 days, but it's been 2 months of just conflict, like the exact word, and
Mhm.
a lot of resentment on the other side and stuff.
I
And
asked
with
about.
me
I asked.
being,
Yeah, I asked about the family because
yeah,
I have the 10 of coins here, and that's shows parents and children and grandchildren and all kinds of stuff. And then the Ace of Swords is here, which is that's the archetypal card of conflict. Right
hmm
now, I'm. Let me. Okay, this is good. Yeah, so far, all I've gotten is confirmation of what you know already.
hmm
If you, this is not the kind of thing that I enjoy doing, which is to feed back to a person what they told me, because obviously
right,
you know these things. As a reader yourself, you must have been in that position too. But here's the magician. Now
hmm
that's a very good thing at this point, because that shows that you have the ability to draw spiritual power from above and apply it here down in the practical realm. So you're strong, and you have power. That's here again with the high priestess. That is a person who has great metaphysical psychic abilities. So and the Empress here, which is a person who is a woman who's creative and can make things happen. That's why she's surrounded by fruit and making things grow, and fruit and vegetables, and justice, which is. Have you felt that you've been treated badly? That there's a lack of
yeah,
injustice here?
yeah, yeah. I've been actually using a lot of the vocabulary of, inhumane, injustice, these type of things, and then also, today, I've been a lot. When I'm 34, and when I was 18, I went to Southeast Asia. And I remember when I was about maybe 21, I was in the Philippines, and I was with some friends and another American girl and some Filipinos, and we were all having a great time at a wet market, getting fish and whatnot to take over to a restaurant and get cooked for us. And one of my Filipino buddies looked at me and said, "You're just so powerful, both of you guys."
Mhm.
And I took it really to heart. And ever since then, I call myself powerful. I am powerful. I was in a third world country,
Well,
at 21
you've
years
got
old.
here you got the Empress, the High Priestess, and the Magician. That's a powerful person. Okay, so
Oh yeah, and I appreciate
I
that.
think I think you'll be able to do whatever you're dealing with. I think you'll be able to deal with it.
My thing is,
It
I want to make sure that I have the strength to just. I
oh,
want to know.
you this is a card showing strength, especially the Justice card here too. There, here's the 9 of Rods. You see, that's that one. That's a card that's the person's got the bandage on the head. The person has been around the block a bit. The person is well prepared for
Hello.
what's coming and can handle it. All these cards indicate somebody who's strong and prepared and can deal with it.
I really like that 9 of Rods. That's a term I use a lot. Well, I've been around the block. I've been in Asia for 10 years,
Mm.
so I bring that up a lot when I speak highly of myself. So I actually really appreciate this reading, Eliot. And my main thing is I need to keep that strength, and I think the only way is protecting my peace by just exiting and taking care of what I need to do. I have
Hmm.
everything, all my resources in a line. I need to take control and use that magic. I'm the snake
Yes.
zodiac in Chinese. I'm born in the end of the snake in Chinese of 1989, 1990, and I'm an Aquarius. Um, so I definitely feel my power, and I'm having my dragon baby,
Oh,
and my
great.
mother was a dragon Aquarius as well.
Well, while you were talking, I pulled some cards, and let me tell you what I've got here, and this is going to be very important. The lover's
Thank
card
you.
is here because now that I know from years of movies has been misinterpreted as being about romance. There are many other cards for that. This is about a choice that you have to make, and you know that. But what it fundamentally boils down to a choice in your life between the sacred and the profane, and you'll make the right choice because the next card is
Yes.
the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords is the end of the troubles. So that's good. That's
Thank
followed by
you.
the nine of coins, which has serenity and happiness and peacefulness. It's very good.
Peaceful.
Uh, so you're strong enough to be heading in the right direction, and you're strong enough to know what to do, and you'll do it. Uh,
Thank you, Eliot. It's the last maybe 10 days. I've also accepted some things, and I've asked Spirit to um, take my thank yous and take my appreciation because I finally get it, and
Mhm.
I really take that lover's card to heart because anytime me being a girl in general, I'm a female, I'm very feminine. I'm very more of a submissive, sometimes dominant, but more of a submissive type of woman. I,
Well, if
of
if
course,
you're if
get
you're
giddy.
su- if you're submissive, it's because you choose to be. Yeah, that it
Well,
serves your purpose.
and that's why I
That's the
said
way
I
you
can
want to be.
be. I
Because I see that
exactly.
if you need to be, you can be a dynamo. You can be a real powerhouse if you need to be.
Period. And I agree with that totally tenfold. Well, my thing is I always would get giddy when I would get my lover's card, but
Mm.
I get it now.
Yeah.
With years of tarot and years of understanding and years of doing other readings, but I also um, transitioned that giddiness and that excitement over to when I get that higher priestess card or any
I,
of the angelic cards, magician, these types of cards, because those are the ones that are really me. And
yeah,
the
I know the
lover
feeling.
is
I know the
sometimes
feeling.
makes signals, and it gets confusing with people. But I kind of like how you explain it, and I will use that as well with my future people that I am helping with reading.
Well, thank you for your kind words. I've got to run. I've got like a minute to go, and then I'm
No, well,
off.
thank you.
So
I think we concluded, and I'm
yeah,
so happy
thank
I got you when you weren't nervous anymore.
yeah,
6
thanks a
months
lot.
away.
Thank you so
Hey,
much.
thank
I
you.
hope to hear from you again. Bye bye now.
Thank
And
you. Bye
uh,
bye.
and that's it. That's show 386 of Reverend Eliot's Magical Window, which is a show that comes on twice a year on the Ask One Radio Network. It means I've been doing this for 700 years, right? Oh, brother. So listen, I've got to run. I got a few seconds to go. So remember, you can find more about what I do at magic-works.com, magic-works.com, magic-works.com. Look for me at Rev Eliot, or Twitter, Rev Eliot, and email me at asktarot@earthlink.net if there's anything that you would like to run by me. It's great to be back. You people have filled my life with such great vibes that I felt lost without you. So thanks for having me back. Bye bye now.